Today's topic is the general store versus the niche store. So I will touch on what is general store, what is a niche store, what are the pros and the cons of having either a general store or a niche store. And then I will show you an example, what do I mean by a general store, what do I mean by a niche store. Alright? In this day, setting up an online store can be a piece of cake thanks to the explosion of e-commerce platforms and marketplace that simplify the selling process, therefore help you to make money easier and faster. Do you agree? Well, one of the most important decisions to make in every e-commerce business owner is to ask is, should you run a general store or should you run a niche store? I receive a lot of questions, especially for e-commerce newbie with zero experience. When they want to set up their first e-store, they get very, very nervous. They want to sell everything and anything under the sun. Should a newbie start with a general store or straight away start with a niche store? So I will give my personal opinion at the end of this section. As an experienced e-commerce entrepreneur myself, allow me to share with you that which one you should choose when starting up your first ever e-commerce store. I'm Vernette. Hi, if you are first time here, welcome to today's section. I'm an e-commerce coach and entrepreneur myself, coaching my students on how to generate 5-figure sales in e-commerce business. Let us touch on general store. A general store is the one that sells a variety of products coming from different niches. So we can think of supermarkets. In a general store, you would normally see the menu, shops, and then you can take you to a page of different category like frozen food, like seafood, dry food, something like that. Generally, a general store make a lot of money since they cater to the people's many needs and solve different types of people problem. This also allow you to perform an in-depth product research and see which product are sellable that make you most money. So general store could even help you to get tractions on selling a certain products, and in time you can invest more money into those top selling products, and eventually you turn the general store into a niche specific store. So here I would like to share with you how a general store look like. We are at fair price online. Just like I've mentioned, if you come to general store, just think of supermarkets, because at the homepage they will categorize their product category. Like this one, under fair price, you can see there are different product category, and even as a house brand itself is like different subcategory. They can sell anything from the baby to drinks to electrical and lifestyle. Is everything. All these are categorized under general store. On the other hand, a niche store focus on one niche. Think of cosmetic store, clothing store that serve to cater a very specific need. You go to cosmetic shop to buy cosmetic only. You go to clothing store to buy clothing only. So the power of a niche store is people walk into the shop because they are interested in the brand itself and the product that has to offer. Furthermore, a niche specific store would look more professional. Let's see, this is a very famous Adidas official store. When you come to Adidas, you cannot see any other products because this store is a niche store. The most you can see is they only can categorize by a man category, a woman category, or kids category, or sports. If you are looking for a basketball shoe, then you come to the sport section here. If you are buying clothing for your baby boy, then you come to boys clothing. So very specific. You cannot look for cosmetic here. There's nothing here, right? There's nothing like cosmetic, like drinks. You cannot find it here. So this is purely a very professional niche store to serve the sports needs. Next, I would like to share with you what is the pro and cons of a general store. The advantage of a general store is you can reach more people when you sell multiple products. Why? Because you are solving multiple problems of people. You are solving a household problem, you are solving a pets problem, you are solving a lifestyle problem. You can do cross-selling of products. It's highly possible. So for example, you go to a general store to buy a diaper for your baby. Perhaps at the same time, you can buy the clothing for yourself. Is cross-selling. A general store is more stable than one product store. That is definitely. One product store can only solve one problem, while general store can solve multiple problems at one go. And long-term potential because you can easily pivot into different products. Like earlier I just shared, right? When you sell multiple niches, what you can do is you pay attention to what are the products are top selling. Top selling product means they are hot demand for that kind of products. Then you can pivot to a niche store to just sell that niche of products. Next, it is easiest and quickest to set up than others options. And research is not necessary because you are doing testing every day. When you have hundreds of products in your store, those not sellable easily means that there's no demand, and those hot in selling means there are demands. Okay, and the product choice is huge. Having said that, right, what are the disadvantages of having general store? Firstly, your initial capital could be huge because you need to buy a lot of product to put in your store. So inventory cost will be very high. Initial startup capital will be very high because you need a bigger warehouse. You need to hire a bigger shipping team, or even when you outsource, you need to outsource to a more manpower to become your shipping team. Product related tasks are overwhelming because you are taking care of hundreds of products with different niche. So when the customer approach you for diaper, you must have some knowledge of the diapers that you are selling. What's the feature? What's so good about that brand of diapers? And then is this skin sensitive or whatever? So when another customer approach you for pillow, you must have certain product knowledge towards that pillow as well. The product related knowledge can be very, very stressful. Competition is way too intense because you are selling too many niche whereby your competitors are from different niche. You can have competitors from household brand. You can have competitors from baby brand, right? You can have competitors from electrical brand. So you can think of it, everywhere is your competitors. Let's move on to the niche store. Niche store, let's start with what are the pros, what are the advantages of having a niche store. The advantage is, number one, you can position yourself as the brand at the specific audience can go to, like Adidas. Adidas position itself as a family sport brand. Your credibility is more well-known than a general store. This is for sure because people know you are only solving one problem. It's very, very specific. So you can create your credibility and reputation very, very fast. For example, when people think of sport brand, people think of Adidas. And a more focused business that the right customer can relate to, because you are very focused on only serving one group of people. You can be the expert of your niche. And management of the business is more easier because it is much smaller business. Not like this. This is general. But now you only manage this smaller niche store. And you can face moderate competitions with highly specific selection of closely related products. So just like I said, the general store, the competition is very fierce because everyone is your competitors. But if you are running a niche store, you only face the competition from your same niche. For example, if you are running a sport brand, perhaps your competitors is Adidas, Nike, those sport brand. That's it. And how about the disadvantages? Do they have disadvantages? Yes. Firstly, you need to test one niche at one time to find a profitable product. Just now at the general store, you do not need to test product because the sales volume will tell you which product are sellable. Unlike in niche store, when you're selling a sport brand, you are just in the sport brand niche. Then you need to research to see which sport products is profitable one. It could be a shoe, it could be a basketball, it could be a sports shirt, right? So you need to do the research. Second, you limit your turnover and reduce potential sales. Yeah, because you're just solving one kind of problem at one time. So initially, you will limit your turnover. Third, you need to do research and understand what you are selling and who you are targeting. Basically, you need to do a research of your product. What is the product in the demand right now and who you want to serve. These two problems. And I give you a tips and the pricing point, the starting pricing point. All right, the three questions that you need to do research. Research on, basically research on your competitors. If you are newbie, want to kickstart your e-commerce business, so which one should you choose? My personal opinion to you, if you are just startup, I would suggest you start off with a general store using drop shipping model and see which product will be the popular among your target audience. From there, you move and you have an option to create a store, specifically resolve one problem of the niche store. So basically, if you are just startup, with a limited initial capital. You open a general store using dropshipping model. So what is dropshipping model? Let me just share with you generally. A dropshipping model is basically you open a general store whereby you list all the products that you intend to sell, but you do not have any inventory on hand. When the customer come into your store, they purchase one of the products, you contact the supplier, you contact the middleman to supply and deliver the product to the customers. So this is dropshipping model, which means you can safely say that you will only start spending when you receive the money from your customer. You receive the money from the customer, $50, you use the $50 to buy the inventory from the third-party vendor, whereby the third-party vendor will pack the item and help you to ship to the customer. So there's no need to have a huge startup cost in this case. When over time, you know which product are hot selling, from the general store, you turn it into a niche store, just selling that niche of product. So you get me now?